What's up, everyone? How is it going? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Another day in Juju land. I got the Juju cut up here in the bowl. I see a lot of awesome familiar faces in the chat. How's it going, everyone? I'm trying to read some places out here. But before I do, let's pull up the stock price. 270 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Not the prettiest of post-split weeks, mind you. Rob, how's it going? Crest, throw in the chat, by the way, if you want, where you're tuning in from, city, state, country. And let me know if my audio is coming in clear as well. I didn't really do a tech check before this. Rob, Crest, Yay, Patrick, Hadouken, how's it going? Armad, Pietri, Eric, Digital, Mimi, how's it going? Steven, Friday, Steven says, yes, indeed. It's Friday. It doesn't even feel like a Friday today. I don't know if it's just me. Martin, Per Johan, Patrick, Roland Deep, Alex, audio's good. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. Paul from Danbury, UK, Liverpool, Missouri, NYC. Michael, how's it going? TGIF, Juju hour means I can start the weekend drinking. Nice. By the way, if you're watching on replay as well, let me know that you're watching on replay and where you're tuning in from on replay. I always read all the comments on replay too. I don't just say that because I don't get too many comments. If you're watching this on replay, hit the live chat button and you can kind of engage with us in a live way, even though you're watching later. We got a lot to talk about today. We got next week is our bigger week. So remember, post Labor Day, we're going to see volume go back in the market. What are we expecting from that? Number two, we got non-investment grade to talk about. It's kind of a hot topic on Twitter today. So we're going to talk about that. And then some upgrades and some other news items I have pulled up that I forgot now. Stockholm, Sweden, Florida. Alex, congrats. Got your new Tesla today. Or this morning, or you got your VIN at least. Awesome. Peter from Netherlands. Edward, how's it going? My friend, Farsland, Norway, I think. Oh, I got a super chat already. Mark, thank you. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Starting the stream off right. Xander, how's it going? Jimmy, happy long weekend. Yes, indeed. Dublin, California. It's just me, yeah. Everyone else feels like it's a Friday. Denmark, Ballina, Australia. How's it going, Paul? Saturday morning. What are you having? Juju or blueberries? Ganeshan says. Yeah, look, I don't want to crap on blueberries too much. I like the fruit, but let's keep the citrus only. It's Juju Power Hour, for God's sakes. Farzad, I'm talking to you directly here. Maybe he's going to tune in after. Montreal, Seattle, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Cupertino. Tom said, I really don't understand this market. Yes, let's try to dissect some of the market together, shall we, in a little bit. Seattle, neighbor indeed. Oregon, Starbucks in LA, California, harder than a truck out here, 106 degrees. Wow. Awesome. Sweden, California. Okay, I'm just going to blast through all these. Sydney, Belgium. Valerian, how's it going? Vetlanda, New Zealand, California, Londium, Ireland, Malta. Amazing. Compton, Jason, how's it going? We're Austria, Pasadena. Oh, yeah, we should confront Farzad next stream. By the way, Farzad's going to be on the channel on Tuesday. He's going to be coming on live stream on Tuesday. Maybe we'll have an intervention then. Terrio in Bahamas on vacation. Garfield, that's awesome. India, nice. Morovia. Newport Beach, Juju County. Oh, no voice. Hopefully my voice is coming in clear. Awesome. So let's get to it. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me pull up my Chrome. Got a lot to talk about today. First things first, I wanted to just go through some of the market order flow with respect to Tesla in the market. So the market order flow, I just pulled these a minute or two before coming on live. Essentially, we had a large bearish day, mostly bearish day today, large sell-off indicated by the options order flow down here. We're pretty much at kind of break even / a nothing burger now with at this point with the net order flow of the market. If you're wondering about Tesla specifically, Tesla is a nothing burger / a little bit green in terms of options order flow, nothing massive. I think it's interesting to see as we move into the long weekend how options order flow shapes up. We'll keep a keen eye on that. We'll also keep an eye on DEX. I think that's another one that TradeTix is really promoting as a new feature that they have on their site. And essentially a print positive or negative that you get that apparently has a good prediction into the next trading day. I'm going to be interested to see how that prints today as well. So that's a couple things that we're going to keep an eye on here. First, let's get into this macro. Let's get into some macro talk. Remember, today was the jobs report. Gary Black summarizes this well for us. August job numbers coming in 3,000 less than expected. This won't change the Fed's thinking at the FOMC in September. It's already September, folks. Wake me up when September ends. Next data point, August CPI on the 13th. Equities likely higher to open. Remember, we pretty much gapped up today, despite what the market's doing right now, on higher than expected unemployment rate. Kind of, folks, this is where we're kind of at. We're kind of almost as bulls. We're banking on higher unemployment, so then the Fed can ease off the rates and the aggressiveness of the rates. That's kind of, it's the sad reality of where we are. Higher labor force participation rate than expected, more Americans return to work, and then of course hourly earnings as well. It calls it the Goldilocks type of report where everything kind of matches up all together. So that essentially led us this morning to what seemed like it was going to be a green day. This morning I woke up, looked at the report, it's pretty average, market was up. And the first hour of the sell-off that we had this morning, I was like, okay, well, usually they like to sell off in the first hour and then buy back to end the day and end the week green. You know, barring a big move here in the next 50 minutes, I don't think we're probably going to end green for the day. I mean, crazier things have happened, so we'll see. John says 200 subs from 20K, not 200K. Yes, indeed. If you haven't already and you like the channel, please hit subscribe. Trying to hit 20,000. Trying to hit. Can't even talk. Trying to hit 20,000. We're currently sitting at somewhere close to that. The exact number I will pull up right now, but please do your part if you want. I appreciate all of you guys watching regardless. Let's just see here. I'm just gonna pull up the exact number. 19,804. There it is. Okay, keep an eye on that throughout the stream. We'll see where we get to. So $271 sitting on Tesla. Still gonna have to take a second for me to get used to the price. Drop in the chat. Is it weird still for anyone? Like it's still really weird for me. Danny, every Friday. I appreciate that, my friend. 25 Hong Kong dollars. Appreciate that. Hello from Hong Kong. Hello, Danny. Appreciate that. Is it just me, or is it weird? Is it weird to say Tesla sitting at 271? It's just a little bit odd. I don't know. Like I'm obviously going to get used to this. I just feel like last split I was more used to it even. This split it feels like it's going to take way longer than expected for me to get used to these new prices. And, 4% drop is like really nothing. A 10% drop is $27. Let's say $15 would be a 5% drop. I don't know. It's still weird for me. The way I'm kind of remembering it as well, and maybe this will help someone in terms of mental math, quick mental math, by the way, totally, it's not going to be completely correct. But I'm looking at essentially back before the split, pre-split, Tesla 1,000 was 1,000 billion, a trillion market cap. The way I look at the 3-to-1 now essentially is 333 is a trillion. So a 333 is a trillion, 666 is 2 trillion, and then 1,000, let's say give or take, is 3 trillion. Just like loose math. And I know counting in trillions is pretty funny, but that's just kind of where we are right now. Price adjustment, it's weird. Yeah, like the 3-to-1. And I guess this is why a lot of people really argued for the 10-to-1 split. Rami says, yeah, she's sitting at 19.8K. Yes, indeed. Julio says, hey, Yash, did you see Dave Lee's episode on the Moody's response today? We're actually going to get into that with Tesla Bruno Mama, aka Alexandra, and her tweet and the reply. Actually, let's get into that right now. Thank you for the segue. So Alexandra, if you don't follow her, go follow her. She's awesome. She's been essentially pestering, for better or for worse, the Moody's and the S&P Global folks, the credit agencies, to at least answer for why Tesla is not investment grade credit. And today, she actually got a reply from Moody's. The email, if you haven't read already, essentially says, I've copied our considerations below. Our considerations are not so much of quantitative nature, but more qualitative, they say. Importantly, we are looking for a broadening of the company's product line. Today, Tesla remains narrowly reliant on primarily two models, albeit highly successful ones. Note, also in this respect, that one of the models was introduced first in 2017. More concrete prospects for a broader vehicle lineup would be regarded as a positive development in this respect. And then she copies and pastes what was in that report. So essentially what they're saying, what Moody's is saying is, look, we would love to give Tesla investment grade credit, but because they only really sell 4 models and specifically 2 at scale right now, we just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I couldn't help to think, and I actually quote tweeted this. Let me see if I can even find my quote tweet. You would think mine would show up at the top. Where is it? I think I'm right here. I said, Tesla just needs more product lines for investment grade. That's what that explains why GM is a world-class company with a world-class balance sheet. And I posted, this took me all of 2 seconds to find this. GM promised 20 new EVs by 2023. Sorry, Freudian slip. They brought 0 to the LA Auto Show. In October 2017, GM announced that they would release 20 new EV models by 2023, just over 5 years from then. And just over 1 year from now. And they brought 0 to the LA Auto Show. I don't know what the fascination is with the amount of models with Legacy Auto. It seems like for me, all intents and purposes, the only time I care about mix is when you're trying to drive up unit volume growth. If Tesla hit a hard cap at, let's say, 3 million and they couldn't bust through, by the way, I think Tesla can easily sell over 3 million Model Ys today. But let's say if Tesla were to hit a cap, at that point, then you want to look at increasing the mix of your products. But the only reason you want to increase the mix of your products is if you can't drive up unit volume already. There's about a year backlog for a lot of cars, 6 to 12 months, depending on the area you are. Cybertruck has I'm not even going to say it. Someone throw in the chat. Anyone know the updated backlog for Cybertrucks? How big that list is? It just doesn't make any sense, this fascination. And I go on a tweet, quote, or this is me kind of being sarcastic. Man, Apple would be such a great company to invest in if it just made more than an iPhone every year. Them probably in 2015. And in 2015, I think their iPhone revenue was like 70% maybe of their total revenue was iPhone related. And so I just don't like this argument. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's actually quite funny. And I'll read some comments here about this topic. Hold on. Joel says, so dumb. They only know how to price based on traditional models. Other car manufacturers have 50 models, so Tesla should have them too. It's not only that. I think a big reason is it, like what you highlighted there, the traditional modeling. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, we haven't seen a disruptive auto not gone bankrupt in North America for quite some time. What Tesla is doing, yes, they're making cars, but their unit economics are totally different league than any other legacy auto today. And remember, legacy autos are supposed to be world-class. They've been around for a long time. These guys are at scale. You would think they would know their shit. And so where they are right now, Tesla's already pretty much kicking their ass with the margins that Tesla has already. This is pre-scale. And so I think a lot of the business modeling that's done, like you say, is just not fit for this. Robbie says a ratings agency is more qualitative. Let that just sink in. Yeah, that line specifically as well kind of was, to me was like, what? So what they basically said was, look, we're a rating agency, but we don't really care about the quantitative stuff. We're talking about qualitative right now. And that's why I think it's subjective, and that's why I think it makes no sense. Let's see here. There was also some demand is not the problem. Absolutely not. Hadouken says 1.5 million Cybertruck reservations. Actually gives me a link over here. I'll trust Hadouken's linking. Thank you. Okay, so someone has all the reservations. I remember seeing this a long time ago. So 1.5 mil, that's the backlog. By the way, I'll just put it out there right now. Just because Tesla has a 1.5 million reservation list doesn't mean that all of them are going to end up buying the car. I'd be surprised if it was even close to 50% on day one. That would, I think a lot of people reserve more than one car, reserve cars because it's kind of like a free options call. But that being said, it's not like Tesla's going to come out first year and make 500,000 Cybertrucks anyways. So that's besides the point. Gentry, how's it going? Some people have 10 plus reservations. I mean, throw in the chat. Do you have a Cybertruck reservation? Yes or no? And if you do, how many? If it's more, if it's not one, because I feel like a lot of people have. A lot of people I talk, like Matt Smith, for example. How many does he have? I think Matt has like between 20 and 30, like something insane. He wants to start like a fleet of Cybertrucks. Put it okay. One. Okay, there's actually a good amount of ones. Day one reservation right here. Wow. Okay, so my example. Okay, my example is really not working right now because everyone's putting in either 0 or 1. But they're fine. Maybe the exception. Maybe it's more of the exception, not the rule. But I know people that have. Evan says he has 3. I know people that have way more than they plan on buying on day 1. 3 configurations. Okay. 2. 0. My dad has a Cybertruck reservation. I don't. My dad just pre-ordered the Cybertruck. Like, my dad loves just buying stuff for the sake. Like, one day you'll just like randomly talk to him and he's like bought something and you're like, why? And so I'm talking to him a couple months ago and he just sends me this text of like his like this has to be probably maybe closer to January. Like, this is before they cut it off, like right before the cutoff. He's like, oh, I just pre-ordered a Cybertruck. I'm like, Dad, you're like 4 years late. There's no point of, I mean, really ordering one now. You don't want a Cybertruck. Like, why did you do this? And he's like, just for kicks. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be waiting a while. Like, it's almost like if you want a Cybertruck, just wait for the used market on it. Well, exactly. Like, people will 100% be flipping them. 100% will be flipping these cars. Yes, exactly. My dad seems dope. I got some funny dad stories, man. I swear to God, one time, I met, this is back when I was in university. I got a call from my dad in the middle of a lecture. I go out, take the call. And I was like, yeah, I was on the way to work. I'm in line. I'm like, where are you in line? He's like, I just stopped on Broadway. I saw a large line of people. I was like, screw it, let me get in line. So he gets in line. It was like some hype beast Nike shoe, Supreme shoe collab drop. And it was just a bunch of hype beasts in line. My dad saw these guys. He pulls over, gets in line. He calls me. He's like, hey, Yash, like, what is this for? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do I know what this line is for? You're the one that got in line. He's like, this is the address. Here's where I am. Why is there a line? Tell me if I should be waiting here. I was like, Dad, you got to get out. He's like, I just talked to the guy in front of me. He's buying some shoes today. Because, you know, the Supreme does like these drops, like exclusive. You buy any shoe basically, and it's like double the price within like a month of putting out these shoes. So like my dad will always do stuff like this. Yeah. So I guess it's pretty fitting that he ordered a Cybertruck as well. Xander says, I have an X due to arrive at the end of the month, 2 Cybertrucks and a semi. Yeah, the semi. Did he buy the shoes? No, I convinced him to get out of the line. He got a slot. Exactly. I was like, Dad, look, you have no idea what you're buying. I have no idea. Even if you FaceTimed me to buy some of these shoes, I would have no idea if you're buying like a stupid shoe that's like $1,000 or like one that's actually worth something. Like, just go to work. He was on the way to work. He's like, screw it, I'm gonna get in line. If anything, he could have sold his spot in line, maybe. I've seen it on Craigslist. People wait in lines and then they sell their spots to people. I think it's actually a great job for the Tesla bot. Most of them no value. Okay, awesome. So 271 sitting on Tesla. Speaking of paint, I feel like that's what we're watching with Tesla stock in the last couple of days. Paint drying, that is. Okay, let's get back to our news of the day. 270 sitting on Tesla. So hold on, where is it? China CPCA numbers have also come out. So Tesla, and this is courtesy of Gary Black again, Tesla China CPCA numbers of August sales of 77,000 includes exports. It's a big number. Would be the highest ever second month of a quarter, up from 28,000 in July when the factory was down for 18 days for retooling. Bolsters the case for Tesla in the third quarter volumes. Troy is at 368,000 for the quarter. Could be well above the street consensus. The street consensus, folks, is 357 for the quarter. 357 for the quarter. And then he gives us his handy dandy Excel spreadsheet here. Another tweet by Troy on this, just recently as well. The Tesla China team is expected to deliver more than 100,000 cars in this month, aka September. 100,000 cars. This will be a new record. The highest month last year was 71,000 in December. The highest month this year so far was 78,000 in June. I think we all remember celebrating the 78,000 in June and just being in kind of awe of that number. Troy is expecting 100,000 cars in September from Shanghai. That's nuts. I saw a comment here about China shutdowns. I don't necessarily know how much fire there is to that smoke per se, but it does seem like in general it doesn't seem like that's going anywhere. This is the problem with Shanghai, or the CCP's policy with the dynamic zero COVID strategy. It's like you're just kind of beholden to what they want. By the way, in July, the reason Shanghai was down was not because of lockdowns, it's because of retooling, right? So yeah, Bill does some quick maths for us. 77,000 per month run rate gets us to 924K for the year. 100,000 in September, 1.2 run rate. I don't know. I mean, it almost seems intense even talking about it. 1.2 in terms of, and that's, by the way, this is not like it's going to happen for sure, but that's what Troy is expecting. Troy's pretty conservative, I would say. Chris says, how the heck do they deal with all the logistics? I mean, that's kind of the limiting factor almost, is like, you have to be such a well-oiled machine to not only pump out these cars, but to get them in hands of customers within the same month, and to give them all orientations and make sure that quality control is up. People don't complain. People don't remember when Tesla used to give it was 7 days worth of a refund, I think. Like back in the day, like back when I took delivery, it was like, oh, you could take delivery and then you had 7 days to refund your car as long as you didn't drive it more than 1,000 kilometers or something, right? So pretty intense. We also got a Piper Sandler upgrade from Alex Potter. He's raised his, and this is courtesy of Sawyer Merritt, he's raised his price target on Tesla to $360, previously $344, while maintaining an overweight rating. For those people that still like the pre-split prices like I do, that's 1,080 pre-split. 1,080 is the new price target for Alex Potter at Piper Sandler. His notes, essentially nothing. I tried going on tip ranks and finding a better version of that note. And all I really got was this from Barron's. Alex Potter sees quote, cross currents that could drive Tesla stock lower in the coming weeks. This is despite his upgrade. But Potter remains bullish on the long-term outlook of the company and the shares. Three things Potter sees that could generate share price weakness are: one, shorter wait times for Tesla; number two, China weakness; and number three, rising interest rates. I don't see rising interest rates really affecting the company per se. Tesla really doesn't have any debt that they worry about with any sort of interest rate risk there. China weakness, I feel like that's a perpetual one for sure. And then shorter wait times. Remember, Drew and Zach Kirkhorn talked about this on the call. They said just because you see wait times going down, that doesn't necessitate a lack of demand. We're also working on the numerator aspect of that equation, which is what's the supply of cars that we can bring up too. So this is why I actually think recently when we've seen the Tesla China, and I think Rob Meier talked about this recently as well, we're seeing the wait times go down. That's a really good sign. That's a really good sign. And remember, if you're a consumer and you go to Tesla's website and you see, okay, Model 3, you're waiting 6 weeks for it, you're much more likely to buy that car than if you see 6 months for a wait time for that. Let's see here. Let's pull this up. Weeble, 270 sitting on Tesla. Hadouken, thank you for the super chat.
What exactly is a price target? Why does it vary so much between analysts?
Well, it's kind of like a rolling. So here's tip ranks. I gotta pull it up first. Here's tip ranks. They do a good job of essentially compiling everything for us. It's kind of like a perpetual 12-month target, right? So the way to look at this is that's their 12-month out from today price target. how they come to that is really behind their modelings. Sometimes you'll get notes on Twitter. You'll be able to see where their modeling forecasts are, what their EPS is, what's a multiple that they're giving, what's the discount. Like maybe they're doing a DCF. Like everyone has their own modeling of what they do and how they get to their price targets. But it's kind of like a perpetual 12-month out price target. And remember, it's definitely about the analyst, but it also represents the firm that they operate for, right? So for example, Alex Potter, he's like almost a 5-star rated analyst. 100 out of his 209 ratings were successful. He's rated 48% via tip ranks. His average return though is 21%. So a lot of his calls, though, let's say it seems like only 48% of them were successful. The ones that he hits on good, right? That's kind of the way I look at it, at least. And so from today, he says there's about a 31.83, and this is 2 days ago, sorry. He says there's a 31% upside he thinks for Tesla stock. Philip Hochua as well from Jefferies. He's 5-star, close to actually even higher. 109 out of 195 ratings were successful. Average return is 24%. Adrian Janoschik, 38 out of 111 ratings were successful, 34%. Average return minus 13%. His price target for Tesla is 290, essentially $20 up from where we are right now, but he's signaling a hold, right? So, of course, take these with a grain of salt whenever you look at any analyst ratings up or down. Sometimes you will get their modeling. Like let me see if I can click on one of these. A lot of these articles will not show anything in terms of model, but if you go on Twitter, for example, sometimes some people in the know will release a note that will show, like Morgan Stanley, like Adam Jonas's stuff always gets out on Twitter. I always see it with his EPS and stuff like that. I think EPS is mostly what I really care about when I look at analysts' modeling. What's their EPS they're projecting? 270. Sin on Tesla. Kostav says interest rates are going to affect demand as car financing becomes expensive. To a degree, I can take that argument, but I think with the backlog that Tesla has, for example, people will step up to the plate. And then also another thing to take into consideration is consumers are way more willing to take on debt for what has been a car that holds value a lot better. Like I'm even talking pre-pandemic, because the pandemic has kind of screwed up used car prices where they actually have appreciated, which is I think very stupid, but it has. But even pre-pandemic, I kind of budgeted a 5% depreciation over 18-24 months of having the car. 5, maybe a little bit more percent depreciation. Whereas if you buy like an internal combustion engine gas car, depreciation is higher. So if you're looking at financing a car, you'd probably want to finance one that holds its value better. And so all of a sudden you can see why in rising interest rate environments, consumers that have to pick a car will probably have to pick a car using that as their deciding factor. I know it was a big deciding factor for us. Hadukin says, don't Teslas appreciate in value though? They have, but I'm very reluctant to tell people that. If they're considering to buy a Tesla, I don't like to say that because number one, counting on cars to appreciate in value is like once in a history kind of thing. Like this has not happened before really. Right? Like because of the pandemic, because of supply chain shortages, car prices have gone out the wazoo. But if you're looking to buy a Tesla today, don't buy one because you think it's going to be a good investment appreciation wise, right? The last thing I'd want is for someone to buy a Tesla for the major reason that they think it's going to go up in price and then car prices come back down to earth, right? Yeah. And also, let's be honest, it sets a bad incentive for people to get in line for cars that they don't have any intention on actually using, but buying these cars with the intention to flip them down the road, kind of like what flippers do with housing markets, like hot housing markets. Crunchmore says most people don't analyze depreciation. That's fair. I get that. But I think more and more consumers are waking up to that sort of stuff because there are options now. Like, okay, I get it. If majority of gas cars, they all depreciated massively. So whether it depreciated 40% or 25% in 5 years, you didn't, and that was on the low end, let's say, you didn't really care. But all of a sudden, if you have a car now that's holding value, maybe only keeping, maybe keeping up with inflation even, I don't know. I feel like consumers are more open to that sort of stuff. Let's see here. Brian says, I bought mine because no car makes me happier to drive, plus all the benefits. I think safety is a big one as well. Where is this question? Hold on. Karuna says, hey, Ash, whose analyst has been most right on Tesla stock prices? Anyone been right about the stock price consistently? Well, if you rate, I think, for example, like, I think you can see, like, if I went to Dan Ives's profile and I hit Tesla, you can see from where he started seeing it was buy. He's always hit buy ratings on Tesla. You know, that's a good question. I don't necessarily know. He has about a 56% profitable transaction rating on Tesla, 8%. I think Alex Potter's probably up there. I think Pierre Ferragu's probably up there is my guess. Kind of these like perma bulls of Tesla from a long time ago. Let's see here. Where is obvious question? Yash, are we going to talk about why Tesla stock price sucks so bad and none of the catalysts have given it a bump? Yeah, I mean, in the last, and I'll pull up macro here in a second. Tesla stock price is not really detached at the moment from macro. I mean, it's performed better than macro in general, and I'll show you here, but it's not detached from macro. I think the market is not about individual stocks at the moment. There's not like if you remember in 2020, there was individual stories everywhere in the market. Nikola was having their own ordeal and it was skyrocketing up. Tesla was having its own narrative going on. You name a stock, it had its own story with its own pattern. And of course, we had our wins on our back in 2020. In 2022, a large portion of the bigger mega cap moves have all been in line with the market. And the Fed specifically. And remember, I did this last week. I'll do it again here. From November 5th, which was the all-time high for Tesla, to today. So from November 5th to today, Tesla is sitting at roughly 33% down from all-time highs on November 5th. If you look at macro, aka let's look at the NASDAQ, let's say, and I have this on for last week, you would think, okay, if Tesla's down 35%, maybe half of that is what the NASDAQ was down. So let's pull up the NASDAQ. And by the way, the NASDAQ all-time high was not November 5th. It was actually a couple of days after. But we'll take it from the all-time highs. To today, the NASDAQ is down 28%. The Qs, that is, the ETF that tracks the NASDAQ, is down 25%. So with Tesla of a beta of 2, you would expect, okay, Tesla should be down between 40 and 50%, give or take, if it's in line with macro. Tesla's down 34%. So it's actually done well. It just depends on where you peg the relative aspect of performance from. Now we can do year to date as well. And actually for that, it might be easier to pull up on Google. We'll do year to date. Year to date, Tesla is down 33%. Year to date, NASDAQ is down 26%. So remember, the beta of 2 is a little bit too generous. Maybe 1.5 to 2, kind of in that middle, in that kind of range there. Tesla still has outperformed so far, at least, the macro markets. And I just don't think, I think if any narrative was going to separate Tesla, it was probably going to be the split. We saw that didn't really happen. And then investment grade was always like a sleeper catalyst. So as of right now, it's macro. We're waiting for the Fed. We're waiting for clarity. We're waiting to see how much bite there is to the Fed's bark. That's kind of where we are right now. I hope that's, at least that's my thoughts. If you disagree, feel free to throw a comment down below. That's just where I kind of think of everything. So, I mean, the real argument is like, okay, at some point, Tesla's fundamentals may diverge from the macro markets, but that's kind of the question. Oh, it's very hot in here. Did I also tell you guys I was dog sitting? I'm dog sitting today. I think she's sleeping though. Maybe if Ovi wakes up, I'll show you guys on cam. She's so adorable. I've got the fan on her, not me. Nick from Investment Gains to Grain. How's it going, my friend? He says Tesla's coiling, in my opinion, waiting for a macro. Fed. It's all about the Fed. It's all about inflation. Remember, inflation data is coming out soon enough. If we get an update on that. About those hot seconds. It's very hot. I will say, I'm not complaining, but it's generally like very hot in this office. I got the juju here. Matt says 21 Cybertrucks, Yash. There we go. You heard it from the man himself. I guess 20 to 30. I think I was price or right rolls on that. Pretty much right. I'm going to have a slice of juju here. Let's see if this helps. 269.35 sitting on Tesla. Ishan says, who decides the beta for a stock? If it's a function of the market, then it's possible that the beta has changed. Sorry for my... No, don't be sorry. Yeah, it's essentially that. It's essentially a function of... and so you can argue, yeah, beta has gone down this year, right? Remember, beta of 1 is like stocks pretty boring. It goes like Apple is close to a beta of 1, right? If the NASDAQ is up 2%, Apple will be up 2-ish%. That's kind of where we're at. So yeah, you could argue beta has gone down this year as well. Or you could argue it's underperformed, outperformed. I'd have to check the current beta. But trailing 12 makes sense. All right, first juju consumed. Hit a like for that. Are you guys eating juju too? Let me know in the chat. Oh, Steven, not jealous of that. Pietri says, Canada, Giga Canada, any news? Yeah, well, yesterday I had a video on Giga Canada. It seems like there's a big push from Tesla to expand into Ontario or Quebec. You know what? I'm not sold. I'm not sold that it's going to be a giga. It could just be a battery manufacturing plant, or like battery tech or R&D. It could be something more of like a pilot. It doesn't have to be a full-on giga, but it does seem like there is where there's smoke, there's fire. It does seem like there's something there. But remember, I mean, this is Tesla doing their DD. I don't really think they care too much. They don't really, spare any expense when it comes to checking out all their options. And that's very well what they could be doing here. What happened to Tulsa, Oklahoma, though? I thought Tulsa, Oklahoma was a pretty good option. Any chance they go back there? I know Panasonic. Didn't Panasonic open a plant there recently as well? Giga Q in Quebec. I like that, actually. That's a good one. Quebec. What is that? Oh, my dishwasher. That's why I'm steaming up in here. So the Canadian imports, that's the thing, is like, I don't know how much of the Canadian imports affect the EV tax credits and the battery manufacturing subsidies and all that stuff. Nick says, doubt you'll get very many engineers wanting to live in Oklahoma. That's a great point. I think human capital is hard to find. That's a great point. And that actually very well might have been the deciding factor, because I think Tulsa had a pretty nice bid for Tesla. I mean, there's a lot of engineers that come out of like Waterloo that are highly touted. McGill, of course, in Quebec. Like, human capital is up here. There's a lot of human capital up here. The problem is a lot of Canadian engineers go down south to work. A lot of them will. They'll make more money. They can work remote even now. You'll make substantially more in US dollars if you work down south, right? Like, that's the big thing. Paul says, would Quebec be called Tesla Q? I think they should do that. That'd be actually hilarious. Tesla Q, Q-U-E. That's a good one. Oh, by the way, I didn't share. Avi and I are gonna go to the Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, next month in October. We're gonna go chasing the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. Kind of nervous, to be honest, going so far north to the Arctic. Never done it before. I'm excited though. Should be fun. Has anyone in the chat seen the Northern Lights? Maybe where you live, it's a common occurrence. I'm quite stoked to see it. It's kind of on Avi's wish list. But it's gonna be damn cold. Tesla should not open. Maybe let's do a wrong answers only. Okay, let's do a wrong answers only segment. Where should Tesla's next giga be? Wrong answers only. In Sweden, it's quite boring, Gustav says. Been to Alaska, Russia. Yeah, all these places. I guess you would get bored of it if you lived in an area like that, for sure. But I guess being city folk, you don't really see that sort of stuff here. Wrong answers only. Where should Tesla's next gigafactory be? Detroit in Greenland. Tesla Moscow. Well, I mean, for a while, pre-invasion, it did seem like there was some smoke there. Cuba. Maybe I'm surprised you haven't seen it in Sweden even. Well, I guess it depends how north you are, right? Saudi Arabia. Tesla should open a giga in Saudi Arabia to rival Lucid. That'd be an interesting one. Jamaica. Giga Hawaii. Oh man, that'd be the worst, wouldn't it? Like Giga Hawaii. Just have no workers, no engineers. You'd have to ship out every single car you made. And Bill says Washington, D.C. Giga Mars? Hey, that might be a thing one day, John. Who knows? North Korea, Gonzalez says. North Dakota? Actually, I don't really know too much about North and South Dakota, to be honest. Let's see here. Namahe says, grew up in Finland, live in Sweden, but haven't seen it yet. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I might be open to making a video on it. I don't think there's going to be too much EV structure up there. Like, we're talking remote Canada. I really hope we see it too, by the way, because like we're going specifically for this reason. We're spending 3 nights there. It's the middle of nowhere. I probably wouldn't go, to be honest. Being quite honest, unless it was to see this. Apparently there's good odds, so we'll see. Easter Island. Yeah, for sure, Joel. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing, is we wanted to go in the winter, but one, it's too cold. I couldn't deal with it. Even if I could, number two, like flights were double the price, and I guess understandably so. Giga Antarctica, Giga Arctic. Hey, maybe I should go scout some land for Tesla up there. Tesla Giga Death Valley. Well, that's almost Nevada, right? Nevada's very hot anyways, right? Paul says James Locke on Twitter spends time up there in his Tesla. Where? In Yellowknife? Really? I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to see if there's any Teslas up there. I really don't think so. Like, folks, I'd be very surprised if there's any Teslas up there. In the Northwest Territories? Really? I am very surprised to hear that. By the way, I mean, I'll just show you. Like, Yellowknife is no joke. Like, we're talking really in the middle of nowhere. I'll show you. So here's Canada. Duh. Labeled Canada. US. Northwest like this is Vancouver, Seattle down here. Northwest Territory, like Yellowknife's up here. Like pretty much the Arctic. I mean, I guess you could say it's close enough to the Arctic where I can say I've been to the Arctic. It's up there. I'd be very surprised if there's any Tesla. Maybe I'm totally like, it's like totally a city boy thing to say, like, oh, I'd be very surprised if there's even running water up there or something, like, but I'd be very surprised if there's a Tesla community up there. I've never been this far north. Honestly, I don't think I've been very far north at all. Like, I've just been maybe to the middle of Alberta pretty much. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be real cold. For sure, Hay River, but I think Yellowknife as well. Really? Okay, interesting. I'm going to have to go and I want to see if I follow him on Twitter. Scott says, dude, I'm from Alaska. That's as far north as our southern cities. That's true. That's fair enough. But you know what? Anchorage, it's kind of like on the same parallel as Anchorage. Where is Fairbanks? Oh, Fairbanks is... Okay, I mean, come on. Give me that. Fairbanks is up here. Oh, whoops. Fairbanks is up here, which I think Earl recommended I go to Fairbanks. I mean, close enough. Couple inches. What's a couple inches between friends? I don't think it matters. 269 on that note. 40 sitting on Tesla. Tesla Bjorn took his Tesla to the Arctic. That was in Europe though, right? And camped. Why not Yellowknife? For sure. Oh, we're not taking the car. We are flying 100%. If I drove, it'd be like a 24-hour drive straight. Alert Canada is the most northern settlement, I think. Oh yeah, Alert Canada. Alert is like very, very far. Alert Nunavut. I actually really want to visit Nunavut one day. I've been telling my friends this since I was in high school. They always make fun of me. Yeah, check out where to. If anyone cares about geography, I love geography personally. That is Alert Nunavut, Canada. It's like, it's kind of like the difference between Alert and Yellowknife is like the difference between Tesla and Legacy Auto. Like this is no joke. That's a big step. Like you can't. I think that's one of the highest places in the world, maybe. That's actually kind of crazy. I actually didn't realize how high it was. That's nuts. That is very far north. I don't even think I could get there, to be honest. You probably have to take some sort of special permission plane to get up there. Oh, you guys are playing the Tesla closing price guessing game without me. It's time. It's 12:45-ish, give or take. Throw in the chat your Tesla closing price guessing game. Tesla closing price. We'll play our guessing game now. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under in order to win the virtual Juju prize that I throw at you through the camera. If you're over by even a penny, you can't win. You can't win. 269.56 sit on Tesla. I'm going to throw my chat. I'm going to throw in my guess in the chat as well. I'm going to say, and you know what? I'm just going to cheat a little bit here and pull the options order flow. Can I do that? Here. Fine, I won't. I'll guess first and then I'll pull up the options order flow. I'm going to guess 275. I'm going to guess 275 on the dot. I'll throw in my guess in the chat there. And now I'll pull up the options order flow and I'll bring it up on the screen here once it's loaded. Don't worry, I didn't cheat. I hasn't even. Oh, okay. Here, it just loaded up. You gotta trust me on this. Okay, here's Tesla's options order flow. It's a big fat nothing burger. Big fat nothing burger on Tesla's option flow right now. So it's kind of anyone's guess as to where we go in the next 10 minutes. As it always is, by the way. CNBC, what are they talking about? They are talking about Seagate. Do I care? No. All right. Let's pull up Weeble here. Martin says, I can go backwards on the live stream, but how can I go forwards? There's like actually a secret YouTube beta where you can like forward into live streams. It's like this new thing that's being released soon. Google, man, the machine learning AI is like next level. They're going to predict what I'm going to say before I say it. I'm chipped up there. Matt says, wrong answer is only next Giga, Texas. Big Bone Lick. It's in Kentucky, just west of Beaver Lick. That's got to be a lie. Beaver Lick. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up. Beaver Lick, Kentucky. Oh, KY. Sorry, KY. You got to be kidding me. That's epic. Beaver Lick to Big Bone. It's literally 4 miles away. 4 minutes away. This might be the top name. This might be the best name. One of the best names I've come across for a city or a town, whatever it is. Look at the state park. Which one? The one by Big Bone? Big Bone Lake State Historic Site Campground. I would actually go here though, to be honest. That's quite boring. They named their trail Coral Berry. Like, Big Bone Lick State Historical Campground Site. Like, I think you can come up with a better name for the trails here. That's awesome. That's officially on my bucket list. The Juju Gang visits Big Bone, Kentucky. I wonder if I'd be welcome down there. How do you think they got that name? Yeah, I'm not gonna try to guess. 269.78 Tesla moving on that Big Bone news. You get Beaver Lake. Yeah. Jupiter says, sorry I'm late in the chat. Is the stock down because of Moody's news? No, not at all. Tesla's down 2.7%. The Nasdaq's down 1.68%. So actually Tesla's pretty much right in line, give or take, with the macro markets today. I think the jobs report was good, bullish for the market. It just wasn't long standing. It didn't make a long enough effect where I think people ahead of, and I think specifically speaking towards the middle of the day, if you look at the market net flow, you'll see right around noon Eastern time, first hour-ish, or what is this? Sorry, 9 a.m. Pacific, saw a lot of put buying happening. And I think that's really, and put buying ahead of the long weekend perhaps makes sense if you're trying to hedge before the long weekend. Who knows? Nowadays with the long weekend, like there could be a million geopolitical events by the time the long weekend happens. Anyone have any long weekend plans, by the way? Anyone doing anything? Is it also a long weekend in Europe? Pardon my ignorance there. Guessing it might be. Let's see here. Look, really? Oh, yikes. Let's see here. Nope, no plans. No one has any long weekend plans? Geomission says gas up the boat with my profit from shorts. Nice. Very nice. Enjoy the boating. Hopefully weather is good. George says Whistler. Hey, local. I'm going to Whistler next weekend, not this weekend. Brian says long weekend. Never heard it called that. Really? What do you guys call it? I mean, everyone calls it the long weekend here. You guys like I'm trying to fix my hair from all the sweat. Chris says Tesla road trip in the Model Y. Very nice. Oh, for a second, I just tripped out. I just looked at 294 and I was like, what? This is getting me mixed up. 269.80. It seems like Tesla just does not want to move from the 269 price to end the day. The Nothing Burger weekend. Yes, honestly. That's what it should be called. Oh, hold on. What's this? I've heard it called on IT Crowd, and the European show calls it going holiday. Yeah, holiday is a very European term, for sure. We don't really call it holidays here. Robbie says in the UK already had its long weekend. Okay. Why? Was there I have no idea what holiday that is. Michael, we've already thrown our guesses in the chat. Feel free to throw yours in now. I don't think much has actually changed from that point. V says, any other stocks in your portfolio than Tesla? Yeah, I do. I have some general Qs in some tax-free accounts. Bought some Google in early in the spring dips. I bought some Zoom as well a long time ago. Well, this year feels like a long time ago with the price action, right? But generally speaking, not much. Some Square, not a lot, to be honest. I'm missing something else. I bought some Lemonade. I know Good Soil loves Lemonade. Just enough to get me interested to want to read the threads that pop up on my Twitter. Stuff like that. Nothing major, though. I do regret buying my out-of-the-money FOMO option for 2024. Far out the money. Don't even know what strike it is now. I regret buying that pre-split, of course. Wish I bought it now. But so it goes. Lex, how's it going, my friend? Same here, going to Whistler next weekend. Very nice. Lex, by the way, I haven't forgotten. I've meant to be reaching out to you. I've gotten actually a little bit better with my hip now. So I'm hoping, if the invite is still open, to try FSD beta whenever you're free. I'm really excited to try FSD beta. I haven't tried it before. Don't have it. Yeah, I think, some people have been we've been talking on Discord and someone's like, you have to try it to really experience it, which I get. I just feel like the YouTube videos are so good now where I feel like, you kind of get a sense for it, but I think sitting in is totally different. How do options work with the split? Just multiply your quantity by 3. Oh, just check your portfolio now, but just multiply it by the split and then divide the strike by 3 as well. In Swedish, it's called a weekend day. Actually, that actually makes sense. Awesome. 269 for folks. Tesla has not moved from 269. I think this is quite bullish. Tesla finishing the week at 269. I think it's quite bullish. Anything new on Twitter? Let's see here. Valorant says the main thing watching versus behind the wheel is appreciation how the steering wheel goes full on crazy. Yeah, I've seen some of the steering wheel videos with it's just like spazzing out. Yeah. I guess honestly, I feel like I don't think I'd be a great FSD beta tester because I feel like I would intervene too much. At least that's what I think. Like, I think I'd be ultra conservative and I have a weird driving style too. I'll admit that. So I just feel like I'd be wanting to be way more aggressive. Let's just put it that way. Awesome, Lex. Thank you. Tesla is trying to close at 269. Like, honestly, I think there's a sneaky seller sitting here to keep this at 269. I wonder if anyone guessed. It's too late now to guess. You can't guess now. But if someone guessed 269, 69, and 1, that would be the ultimate simulation move. Tommy says I did. Okay, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Kevin says, what's your 2024 EPS projection? I don't have a 2024. I have a back of the napkin 2025 where I think it's about 4.5 million cars. That's about, I think my model, it's about a $45 EPS. I'd have to double check. It's back of the napkin. I have a video out on it, but 2024 I don't per se for that year specifically. I know that could be qualified as like very bearish for a lot of Tesla bulls out there. I think, like, for example, like I think the consensus online is like Tesla's gonna hit $30 EPS. Twitter consensus is that Tesla's gonna hit $30 EPS next year. I mean, prove me wrong. I hope I'm wrong there. I have my back of the napkin here that I've done. 2025, 4.738. Again, this is very basic projections from 50% delivery growth. Revenue off 55,000, ASP margin 25%, 40 PE, EPS growth that much, PEG of 0.8. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, Tesla is such an execution story. It's there we go. 270.25 sit on Tesla. And again, that's kind of a obvious statement there, but I mean, the route is there for Tesla. It's just by execution and how can they continue on this path despite all of the headwinds that they have. 270.21 sitting on Tesla at the end of the day. Let me pull up the chat here and see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Oh, hold on, chat's loading. Chat is loading up. Okay, hold on. Okay. 270.21. Anyone get it on the dot? Okay, no one got it on the dot. What's up, Obi? You want to make an appearance on the stream? Oh, Mimi, you were over by a penny. Over by a penny. Price is right rules, hey? Anyone else close? Hillary guessed 270.68. Over. John Vu guessed 270.69. Over. Messi guessed 270.42. I think Midnight Snacker might be the winner here. Hold on one second. Midnight Snacker, 270.11. I think that's our winner for the day. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anyone. Devesh guessed 270.50. Over again. Hadouken, you beat me again. Hadouken's the best mod when it comes to this closing stuff. I don't know how you do it. It's just so fast. You already beat me. Midnight Snacker's our winner with a guess of 270.11. Yeah, Mimi, you were really close. Awesome. I do love that name as well. Okay. Does Obi want to come on camera? Come here. Hey, Obi. Want to say hi to everyone? Let's see if I can. Oh, okay. Hey, Obi. Say hi to everyone. Look over there. She's a very cute lab mix. She's actually not that big either. She's like 40 pounds. I'm dog sitting for my best friend. He's out of town. He's enjoying summer. And I'm enjoying the week. Her name's Ovi, like Ovechkin. Awesome. I am it is hot. $270.21 to end the week on Tesla. By the way, in case you're wondering, how did the week fare? We started the week at 280. What is this? 283.43 ish, ending the week down about $13 on the week. We were as high as 288 on the week here. Dog sitting on Yashu. So, I mean, not the best week, to be honest. And if we remove our weekly trend line as well, the only saving grace of this week potentially is that Tesla actually decided to hold a 21-week moving average. On the daily, though, and let me just get this out. On the daily, the upsetting news is almost that Tesla actually barely missed the 50 moving average, closing right below it, like by pennies, and then also closed below the 21. Oh, no, hold on. Which one is this one? The 21. Hold on. I'm missing one here. 270. Which one's that one? Yeah, the 21. The 50 and the 21. So we'll see how after hours goes. We'll see. I don't really expect anything to come out after hours today. By the way, I know every single time I'm streaming and I cut the stream, we're going to see some sort of breaking news come out. I don't think that this Friday is that sort of week, but we'll see. Who knows? It's like we get investment grade credit out of S&P today. We'll see. Awesome. Much love, everyone. Take care. I hope everyone's having a wonderful end of summer. Next week, expect massive volume again to come into the stock market. All the Wall Street analysts, traders, hedge fund managers, portfolio managers are back from their Hampton vacations. This week was a sleepy one for sure, but sometimes it's good to have those sleepy weeks. And I appreciate you guys tuning in on a sleepy week regardless and hanging out with me, talking Tesla. And I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit subscribe if you haven't on the way out. I will catch you in the next one. And by the way, thanks for all supporters of Patreon, channel members, everyone that supports the channel as well. I appreciate your support as usual. If you haven't, go connect your Patreon account with Discord and I'll catch you in there as well. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Much love. Bye.